All right, everybody, welcome back. This is another video in the FreeBSD series, and this time we're going to be talking about cron tab and cron itself. But the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to type in your system, which undoubtedly by this point you're already logged into, echo dollars editor and hit enter. And if you take a look at mine, you will see it says user local bin in vim. There's a high likelihood when you type in echo dollars editor, all capitalized like that, it's going to come back with nothing. The first thing that I want you to do is type in which in vim so that we can see that user local bin in vim. And then you're going to type export space editor equals user local bin in vim and then hit enter. When you do that, that will set your editor to invim. But since we're using fish, the other thing I want you to do is type set dash capital U as in uniform, lowercase x as in x-ray, editor, and then user local bin invim. And you can see here I've already done this, but this is another quality of life improvement. Why? What does it do? Well, when we type in sudo cron tab switch E, you will see if we do a full colon followed by the word help, you'll see that we're in the because I typed sudo cron tab switch E and now help in vim. You'll need to set the editor for each user. If you don't set the editor for root will just use regular V. And on my user, I'm now using invim. So that solved that issue. That took me just a few seconds there to realize what I had done wrong. Okay, hitting clear. With that said, the next thing that I want to do is let's actually talk about cron tab. But what is cron? Cron is the method by which you can run commands on your system at a schedule. Now, the granularity level of cron is about 1 minute. So every minute, cron is invoked, and when cron is invoked, it can then run a command. And I'm going to show you how to use this. In real life, you can use it for all kinds of things. I use it for logs. I use it for moving data between systems. I use it to make sure that on reboot, the system automatically reconnects to another server. There's all kinds of different things that you can do with cron tab that functions as a method by which you can just improve everything that you're doing, right? We have a method that I have written that automatically checks to see if a file exists on a web page every single minute. And if that file exists, it then goes out and it sends a message using a system called growl to users who need to go and investigate that file. And that's all done via growl, or that's all done via cron in conjunction with a system called growl. You can do just about anything you can do with a computer inside of cron, and all you're doing with cron is you are building an expression that then runs on a schedule in order to invoke whatever command, file, whatever it is that you want to invoke. You can do that through cron. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to touch, and we're going to call it cron test.txt. Okay, and if we type ls, we see that that file now exists in our home directory. Our home directory is user home Aaron J. I'm going to type echo user home Aaron J, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add that cron test.txt. So you can see that is the full location of where this file exists. Take that, and I'm going to highlight it, and I'm just going to make a copy of that real quick. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type cron tab-e, and cron is based off of 5 numbers, so it's minute, hour, day, month, and then the day of the week. I'm going to do an echo, hello cron. I'm I'm going to write that to user home j cron test.txt, and you'll see that I have chosen to use a star. So what does that star mean? That star is your way of saying every single time. So I'm going to do that. And if you do a star in minutes, hours, days, month, day of the week, that will mean at every minute it's going to run this command. So I'm going to close this, and it's going to state installing new cron tab for user Aaron J. I'm going to use tail switch F on that cron test, and you can see it has already written hello cron. And we'll let this continue going while I talk a little bit about this web page here, which is crontab.guru. What I recommend that you do is go out and find yourself a cron tab calculator. I'm using crontab.guru. There's a ton of web pages that will all help you do this, but go to one of those, bookmark it, and then this is how you're going to figure out how to set up your cron. So if I wanted to do something like at every minute on day of month number 5, which we don't want to do that. We want to do, let's say, at every minute on day of month 5 in May, or every month. So in every month from January through December on the 5th day, I want to do something. And if you look back over here to the left, you'll see hello cron has been written again. Every single minute, the words hello cron will be added to the file cron-test.txt. That's what cron does. You could write a command and invoke a function. You can use curl to check a web page. You could set up a script using Python and Beautiful Soup. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you are able to write files or edit whatever it is that you need to edit, and then invoke that using cron. And cron will just do it. Okay? In addition to that, if we close out of this, we can do tail switch F, var log cron. Permission denied because I'm not using sudo. So we can come here and you can see everything that you have done in cron tab gets written to var log cron. So that is the repository for all of the logs related to what's going on. And you can see every single minute right here. Actually, both of these here. We have our system with date. So July 3rd, tonight, 2306 is the current time. FreeBSD 13-classwork, that is the name of our hostname. User sbin cron. User is Aaron J, that's my user, is running the command echo hello cron, and then writing that to user home Aaron J cron test.txt. And every single minute, it's going to show that. So I'm just going to exit out of that. And then we can type ls. And first thing I'm going to do is sudo cron tab-e. Cron tab-e, and get rid of the cron. That will exit and remove that cron, and then I can remove cron test.txt. Are you going to ever use cron? I would almost guarantee it. If you're going to work in system administration, if you're going to do computer programming, pretty much anything that you're going to do is probably going to necessitate familiarization with cron. Cron is way more powerful than what we have talked about here. But again, this is a very gentle introduction to cron. This is to get your feet wet. This is to show you that you have an ability here with your system, whether you're on Unix or Linux or whatever, you can use cron in order to schedule jobs that need to be done with a granularity level of all the way down to every minute. Okay? You can't do every 30 seconds. There are sort of hacks to get around that. You could potentially set up a timer to where the application maybe pulls a script, like a Python script, every minute, and then that script continues to live and then fires off every 30 seconds. And then theoretically, you're running your command every 30 seconds, or you do it every 10 seconds or every 12 seconds. But that's not super reliable. Whenever possible, try to keep it within that 1 minute. That's probably the best way to do it. And are there other ways of scheduling jobs? Yeah, you actually have some commands that are available to you, so you can do stuff like every year, do annually, monthly, weekly, daily, hourly, and at reboot. These are considered quote unquote non-standard, but so far all the systems that I have used, those have been fine. But if they're not fine, you can still do that theoretically inside of just a regular cron. Like if you wanted to do a yearly cron, you could just say on January 1st, on the first day at midnight, automatically run this script. And so now you're doing something that would be considered yearly because you're only going to run that once a year. So with that said, that's cron. Super fast, super easy, not an incredibly difficult topic. And obviously we have wrote a cron script here. We set it up to run every minute, and then we remove that cron script to make sure that we're not running it any longer. So with that said, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. And if you all need anything else, let me know.